All right, hello guys. Hello YouTube. Classic and new style engine repair, engine builds coming at you. All right, so I'm impressed. I'm gonna say it. I'm impressed, and the reason why I'm saying I'm impressed is because of this engine right here. Um, so I don't know how many of y'all know. This is an LS engine. This is the 5.3 that I've been posting about as part of one of the new projects I've got coming on. So the reason why I'm impressed is that this 5.3 has over 300,000 miles on it. And I did not say that wrong. Over 300,000 miles on it. So, obviously, it was pulled because high mileage. We got this out of my Uncle Keith's truck. We actually put in a 5.3 that I rebuilt a while back ago. So, his truck is now up and running with a 5.3 that's been rebuilt. And in return, I got this engine. And yeah, I do have a push rod in my hand because there's something I want to show y'all. Okay. Conic problems with these engines. It seems to go across every engine, and it seems to be always something that happens. Not with this one. This one, when my Uncle Keith bought the truck, he had bought it. It was a really low mileage truck, and he's been driving it for years. And the one oil he has always ran in this engine was Valvoline. Swore by it up and down, ran it. I didn't really think much of it until I tore apart this engine right here. So, the first one I'm going to discuss is how this is the biggest thing that goes around with LS engines. I'm sorry, but it is never look at the cam bearings. Never look at the cam bearings. Never look at the cam bearings because they always look like crap. I am gonna say it. They always look like crap. Not this engine. Here, let me turn my light on here. So right in there, yeah, you can see it's down to the brass right there. But right there and off to the side, that actually doesn't look too terrible. Yeah, I'm gonna replace it, but still, that doesn't look terrible. Now, let me show you that 4.8 LS engine that I've shown y'all before that has less miles on it than this engine, and let's look at how the cam bearing looks in that one. Yeah. That's a night and day difference right there. Just look at the difference between that and that. I don't know how to show a bigger difference than that, but that is crazy. All right, so there's the cam bearings. That's the first one. So the second one is, you know how these LS engines always have a like small tick sound, and they always are a little ticking. So that is because of this right here. If you look, see how it's all scuffed, but if you look at the other side, it's nice and shiny. Yeah, that's what causes a small little ticking problem. You know, not really a big deal. It's just a wore out push rod. Yeah, it's easy and simple to replace. But that's where another thing surprised me on this engine when I was staring at it apart. I'll bring you all over here. Here are the push rods out of this engine. Come on. Come on. There we go. None of them have been wore out. None of them. There's the one that's wore out compared to the rest of them. None of these push rods are wore out. None of them are. Let me turn this flash off, see if it gives it better. There we go. I mean, look at that. None of these push rods are wore out. None of them are. And you can see the lifters right next to them. And there's the camshaft. And just for giggles and grins, here's the piston and rod bearings. 300,000 miles. 300,000 miles. And that's how good they look. I mean, just look at that. And there's the cylinders. After 300,000 miles. Yeah, that gunk right there is just like oil residue from my hands from flipping it over. But yeah. And then here's the crankshaft. Yeah, it's covered in sludge, but I mean, here's the cylinder heads. Just to prove, look how coated those cylinder heads are in oil. On the outside, anyway. That is just... And then there's the oil pan right there. I nicknamed this engine the frickin' grease bucket, because there's just a crap ton of grease everywhere on this engine. I mean, you can't even see... You can't even really see the numbers on the front of the cover. And then here's the front timing cover right here. 300,000 miles on this engine. And the only big problems it had is a wore out timing chain and wore out rings. Other than that, everything else looks immaculate. I am extremely impressed of how well this engine looked. I was expecting to have to replace half of these push rods, half of the rocker arms, have to, replace the camshaft because it'd be wore the crap out, have to bore the engine over. There's not even so much of ring ridge, honestly. I mean, my fingernail barely catches on that, and I'm willing to bet all it's catching on is a carbon ridge. This is amazing. And the only oil he would run in this engine was Valvoline. That's it. Valvoline. No other oil he would run in this engine but Valvoline. Now, I'm not trying to sponsor Valvoline. I'm not trying to in any way say that you go and buy a Valvoline. You buy whatever oil you feel like. But that is incredible. Now, the other thing that really does help with this is my uncle, being a mechanic himself, he did proper oil changes. That's what happens, people, when you do your proper oil changes as well, is that you get results like this. This engine is in really good shape, other than just having 300,000 miles on it with wore out rings and a wore out timing chain. I am really impressed with it. So anyway, guys, I hope you all enjoyed watching this. This honestly surprised the crap out of me. And I hope you all learned something from this. If y'all didn't, if you all leave a thumbs down, okay, that's your business. But still, that is really impressive on this engine. Having 300,000 miles on it. And it looking this good. Hands down, guys. I'm impressed. Anyway, guys, that's it for this video. I hope y'all enjoyed it. If y'all did, if y'all like seeing more content on something like this, because there will be more content coming up on this engine, as well as the 5.7 Hemi and the 440 right here, as well as that 4.8. Like, subscribe, hit the notification button, and I'll catch y'all on the next one.